Hi there. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. How are you both doing?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. Great to be talking to you. Yeah.
Let's start off by talking about a little bit more about how the project ALTAMULLAN ROAD started. You started out by performing together. I actually saw a video of where you were performing some movie, TV, game music things. Now, one of the strongest points in your music, I think, is the way your voices blend together. It's almost as if you're like the female version of Simon and Garfunkel, in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
How did you guys meet, and when did you first realize you wanted to make music together, and when did the idea of forming a band come?
Oh,
Awesome. First of all, thank you. Awesome to hear. Yeah, it's been over 10 years now since, 2009 was a big year. That's when we met on our way to a gig in Rovaniemi. And ever since then, we've been dear friends and sharing music, but it wasn't until 2018 after we did the tour that we really started craving for something shared music wise, like a band together. And remember, when was the time we went to the to Toronto and saw that Scarlet Jane?
it was 2014.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we were on
saw.
a holiday and saw this amazing band, Scarlet Jane. And that sort of made us think that maybe one day that could be us performing. And that's kind of how it started. And it feels weird because we've known each other for 10 years and this is the time that we're making the album together. But it feels like this was the right moment. And I'm really glad that we have arrived here finally.
So the fact that you started first doing these shows and singing a couple of covers, and you also mentioned that you saw this other band, and then the idea came. But was that kind of a common ground in terms of the music that you both enjoy to that formed the foundation of what it was going to sound like, or did you have discussions first about the sound?
Well, I think that the, this thing just happened. We wanted to take the freedom for ourselves to just pour out what comes from the inside, emotions and sounds, and just break the chains and
Yeah,
expectations, what they might be, but just to let out what comes.
yeah. And I feel like the songs that came out and we wrote for this album were kind of the very natural progression for the tour that we did, like the songs that we picked for the set list, like the cover songs, like you mentioned, the movie soundtrack songs and songs from games and stuff that we love. So it was kind of the soundscape was already there, and I'm sure the people who saw that show, though the tour that we did, and were sitting in the audience, kind of this is probably a natural transition and like a second volume to that, like a story continues.
Now, as far as I mean, obviously, I don't know the complete set list of the songs you played there, but I noticed there were like a lot of like Celtic and like kind of English literature references, like Lord of the Rings, and then there was Braveheart, for instance, and Outlander. It also felt a little bit to me that instead of being inspired by like Nordic folk music, you are more inspired by Celtic and Irish folk. Um, why? How? Is that something you guys did consciously, or is that something you guys just really like?
I think a part of us is very strongly pulled towards the Celtic culture and just ancient things like ancient wisdom of the Celts and well any native cultures, really something really ancient in us all that echoes out. But Yeah, for some reason, it's always felt like a second home to me, at least, the British Isles and that sort of folklore. Or how would you describe it? What do you reckon?
Well, for me, music is something that I don't want to categorize, or I just, um, yeah, as you said, it's something ancient, and I think that we have roots in so many places, and the landscapes maybe in the mountains or wherever, but it's a big part of us. I think this Irish Celtic soundscape.
Now it's also clear, I guess, in the name of your band, because I read that it was actually a road sign in Northern Ireland that you came across. When you saw that sign, did you immediately know, like, yes, this is going to be the name of our band, or was that something that came later on?
Later on, I remember the sign caught my attention on a holiday up in Northern Ireland, and just loved the bilingual, mystic vibe that it had. And I tried to ask about the name, but I couldn't get anyone to answer about the origin, so I don't really know so much about that. But well, the double meaning, the Finnish from underneath the soil, underneath the earth, is I think very beautiful and poetic. And when it came the time to decide a name for our band, it sort of popped up, and we kind of felt there was something there that was describing this music and us and our philosophy, and yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, in the description, you also say that ALTAMULLAN Road is the sound of love and letting go, the voice of larks, poets, and friendship. Does that also connect a little bit back to the name of your band?
Um, yeah, well, how would you do you want to?
Well, I'm I'm not that good in English, so I'm trying to find a perfect sentence. So if you are more quick to answer, then
Well, for me, the Altamullen, like from under the earth, it sort of represents this balancing two dimensions, like the light and dark in all of us, and sort of like the all encompassing, like everything that is in life, you sort of have to. It is this cycle of death and being reborn again, and just like you plant a seed in the soil, and it later on emerges and becomes this beautiful flower. So it kind of we well, for me, that is like a strong image of how I see that, like we started from scratch, and but there was this beautiful seed that was us and our friendship that we planted in the soil of creativity, and it sprouted out and became this beautiful flower that is Altamullen Road. From underneath the earth, it came and it became this beautiful road that we can now travel on, and hopefully invite many others to join us and yeah, travel with us on this journey with music.
Yeah, a big part of the music is also, I think, the lyrics. They seem very well thought out and almost as if you're trying to write poetry. How do you usually go about them?
Do you want? What's your?
well, well, for me, lyrics are the hardest part of writing, and for me, I just try to find the best way to describe the feeling I have for the song. And I would love to be a poet, but unfortunately I find myself just uh, I try to describe the feeling about this story.
Yeah,
Um,
How about
you're a
you?
beautiful poet. You're too humble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, it is hard to try to fill a whole world into a few sentences, right? You're trying to. Well, for me, like, well, the best lyrics are sort of like a movie script. It instantly paints this picture, and you're inside this story, and it kind of just takes you with it. But it's something that I'm trying to grappling with, and trying to learn myself. But I think the most important thing that I've learned is not to be too harsh on yourself, and just write the thing that you want to say first, and then trying to fine tune it after. And oddly enough, it came pretty easy. I feel like we didn't struggle too much. Like, that's one thing that's been so magical with this project, because it's been so natural, and so like we've been in this wonderful flow all the way through. Everything just kind of clicked.
And I'm so grateful that I had Johanna on the side, that I could anytime ask opinion. And what do you think? If I'm questioning a lot of everything, so that helped me a lot to go on and to give the yeah, that sounds great, and yeah, you can do it. I needed that, so I'm grateful.
Well, and same here, because I mean, you've been one of my biggest inspirations in becoming a songwriter, because I mean, you've been doing that for so many years, and I've only just begun, and
Oh.
you do it, and well, it's been a tremendous source of inspiration and encouragement, what I've gotten from you. So as you can see, it's been like this wonderful sisterhood supporting each other that's multiplied into this wonderful explosion of creativity.
Yes.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine that it must be really helpful to have each other kind of, and especially that foremost you're like friends, whereas is it as if you would be two professionals, the dynamics might be a little bit different, I guess.
It's just respect and love, and there's no egos with us. It's just ah, pure heart, open heart. Yeah.
So in terms of songwriting, how do you usually tackle a song? Is it like one person takes the main lead, or is it both of you contributing at the same time?
Well, I guess we had these songs that we did um, allotted by ourselves, half and half, quite. But there are these let me say, two songs that we did together, and but I discussed about it, all of the songs a lot. How do you want
Yeah.
it to sound, or is this the right song for the album, or
And
explored
we
the
worked,
ideas.
yeah. And I think it was very intuitive, like when it came the time to make the arrangements, and pick out the sounds, and the right vibe for the song. It all kind of came pretty easy. Well, of course, on every album there are a few songs that you have to put more work into than others, but everything kind of, well, found their own place in the end, and we were very didn't have any quarrels or qualms about what to do. Like, we were very unanimous, which was also a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, which were the two songs that you wrote together?
Well, Hearts of Gold and this.
Okay.
Called a Mary Scallywag. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that song as well. So, the Mary Scallywag, um, for me, like I have one big highlight on the album, and that's the Mary Scallywag and the way it goes into They Should Have Sent a Poet, because it kind of contrasts as well. One is very folky and an instrumental track, and then you have this kind of 80s new wave poppy songs. What is the story behind these songs?
Well, we were just plainly having fun. I think that's the short answer. But yeah, the Mary Scallywag sort of took us on this journey to the Caribbean, and well, a lot of pirates came and we envisioned this wonderful adventure that the pirate had. And yeah, They Should Have Sent a Poet is heavily inspired by the film The Contact with Jodie Foster, and the 80s vibes that, but also the lyrics too. There are quotes from that film, and also how it ended up being the second, like, penultimate song on the album is something, because there's been pretty deep topics previously, and we've covered a lot of sadness even, and letting go, and so it felt nice to kind of end on an uplifting note, and like the message of the song is you have to go and find your thing, go and find what you love, and write your verse in this universe, and we can make the world, like, yeah, world is what we make of it. We can make it a better place.
Well, that's a good time to ask about the next thing. So I read on your social media that underwater you were kind of inspired by Neil Gaiman's commencement speech, "Make Good Art." And he talks in there a little bit about being an artist and the things that have helped him over the years. But I was wondering, did you recognize yourself in his speech as an artist? And if you had to give advice to students, what would you tell them?
Well, wow. Well, if I had to give an advice, I would tell them to watch the speech by Neil Gaiman, Make Good Art, because it was such a great advice for me. Like, I felt, I mean, I've been very tentatively wading the waters of creativity and songwriting before, but recently, and especially after watching that speech, it sort of gave me this boost of confidence. And like he says in there, that if you're not sure if you can, just imagine that you're somebody who can, and pretend you're them. And that was something so well, it was a revelation. Something just kind of shifted up here, and it made songwriting become this playground. It wasn't so serious. You didn't have to be perfect at once, or you could just have fun and play around with things, and enjoy the process, and not be too critical, which I had been in the past. So it was kind of this permission to let really imagine you're already there where you want to be, and visualize that. So that was probably one of the key elements, or key factors in opening this Pandora's box of songwriting for me, at least.
Yeah, but I guess, having fun and stuff like that is also part of the project, or at least it sounds like you guys had a lot of fun doing this.
Yes.
Oh, we can't even begin to tell you. Yeah, I hope it translates through the music. Like,
Yeah, it surely does.
Nice to hear.
So in terms of the future, because concerts right now, it's a little bit, you don't know what's going to happen. I noticed you guys have a tour planned. So what can fans expect if those shows are going to happen?
Well, lots of sharing and emotions and adventure.
yeah,
And
kind of.
just so much waiting for the interact with the audience, because now it's been such a long journey without the gigs, and just wanted to be able to share this music with
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
audience.
we've been already putting together the set list and thinking of new cover songs we're gonna do, and it's been so much fun already planning the shows. So we're really looking forward to sharing it all with everyone, and let's hope the world will be a safe enough place for the shows to happen, and live music to spread good vibes again out into the world. Yeah.
Now the fact that 2020 has been such a weird year, but I was wondering, at any point did you think like now is not a good time to release the album? We have to postpone it, or did you consciously want to put it out in 2020?
Well, I think when we finished the albums in the beginning of this year, right? We
Yeah,
finished.
it was
Um,
January. Oh,
so I,
okay.
so I don't think we've had to. Well, we didn't really. It was planned that it's gonna come out this September, and what happened in between, like the fall, the spring, and COVID, it was such a surprise. But I think we've kind of been moving at the pace that what we set out to. Like the release date and everything was kind of already set, and
Yeah.
the wheels were set in motion before all this madness happened. So now we're only waiting to see if it's safe enough to do the live shows, and hopefully it is. Let's hope that is the case. But yeah.
And at least it's safe. It's going to be safe to listen to the album. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah,
And that
it's
it's to be released.
yes, finally, because we've been waiting quite a long while. We began recording and writing songs in 2019 in early January, and yeah, it's been well almost 2 years waiting. So it's a long time, but
Yeah.
better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you see the future of this band? Are you planning to, put out a lot of albums, and like in terms of the songwriting, do you think it will change a little bit if you are planning to?
Well, let's see. I think it has been such a nice flow that everything takes the right place. And I know that we both have different things that we do separately, but I know that this is something so special that I at least hope and I believe that we're going to do something together in the future. Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if we didn't. Yes. I don't it feels right. Just like this with this album, the timing was right, and yes, just follow the natural flow of things. That's the beauty.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have to do anything, but we get to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's a nice mindset because a lot of, artists have to kind of, please their fans or the label and all that kind of stuff. But I guess starting from scratch and having this bond together makes things a bit different, I guess, than the standard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it all stems from the joy of making music together,
Yeah.
and there's nothing, no calculations or undercurrents other than just us and our friendship and our love for music, I guess. Yeah.
Never everything if you have to push things forward. So, because with Johanna, I think that things just happen. And when we got the right time and we get together, things are going to start, take steps. Step by step, we are moving forward.
All right, I think that's a nice note to to end the interview with because our time is also almost up. Do you guys have any last thoughts you want to share with people watching this video and your fans?
Yeah. Stay safe, everyone, and yeah, find the thing that you love and do it. Yeah.